winds, mountain-sized waves, and millions of tons of water crashing together. Yet even all of that combined can't sink a cargo ship. Why is that? But before we get into that, just think for a moment. These cargo ships are what keep our world running. Without them, the entire world would come to a standstill in an instant. If these ships stopped even for a single day, the price of every product around you would shoot beyond your reach. So, what is life like inside one of these massive cargo ships? Do they just look like floating mountains of containers to you? Or do you ever consider that within their immense structure exists a completely different world? One filled with lives vastly different from those on land? These people fight the vastness of the ocean daily, narrowly escaping the hand of death. Also, your life can be easier. So, what is their life really like? Let's find out by exploring one of the world's largest container ships. Today, we're going aboard a container ship named Maersk Line Cargo, one of only 31 such ships ever built. These ships are 1,312 feet long, 193 feet wide, and 240 feet tall. Honestly, it's hard to grasp their size just by hearing the measurements. To put it simply, if you stand on the deck of one of these ships, you'd be nearly 200 feet above sea level. And if you tried to load all the containers onto a train, that train would have to be over 70 miles long. Just imagine how massive that is. And that's not all. These ships have a maximum weight capacity of around 250,000 tons, of which the ship alone weighs about 63,000 tons. The rest is made up of the containers it carries. Interestingly, these container ships don't have traditional decks. Their primary goal is to carry as many containers as possible, even though that brings a certain level of risk. One of the world's largest ships, Maersk McKinney Moller, can carry 24 rows of containers across with 23 containers per row and can stack up to 21 containers vertically in a single column. That's more than you can probably imagine. Let's now head below the ship, about 100 feet under the sea surface, into its internal structure. As you can see, crew members have to descend steep staircases to go below. The ship is so massive that when you're inside, it can feel like a different world altogether. Some crew members even feel overwhelmed by its sheer size and avoid being alone in its quieter areas. The ship has a torsion box, a type of metal ring that runs through it to maintain the structure and balance, preventing it from breaking apart. These rings are so large that entire corridors are built inside them, allowing crew members to move from one part of the ship to another. The most surprising part? Despite the size of these ships, they are operated by very few people. In most cases, a team of just 25 crew members is enough to manage the entire ship. These crew members usually stay on the ship's bridge and only occasionally go to the hull or other areas. Except for these bridge sections, the entire rest of the ship is dedicated to containers. Each crew member works in 4-hour shifts, which can occur at any time of day or night. Someone always has to be alert. Their duties include maintaining machinery, navigating the ship safely, cooking, and keeping the bridge clean. However, life on a container ship is no easy task. The crew has to follow a very tight schedule every day. Once the journey starts, they can spend 3 to 6 months at sea without a break, unable to return to their families, and sometimes they can't even stay in touch. Even when the ship docks at a port, they get just 24 to 48 hours to unload and reload cargo, leaving them with no time to explore the city or take a break. That said, most cargo ship workers earn a good salary, often in the 6-figure range, and get up to 6 months of leave a year to spend with family. The containers they carry can hold goods worth billions of dollars. If by any chance a cargo ship encounters a disaster, all those riches sink to the bottom of the sea. And then there's the threat of pirates. Yes, piracy is still a serious concern. Pirates often attack using small speedboats, sometimes even taking the entire crew hostage, including the captain. To prevent such attacks, most container ships are equipped with self-defense mechanisms. One of the most effective is the water hose system, which sprays high-pressure water around the ship to create a barrier, making it impossible for pirates to climb aboard. Recently, Japan developed a more advanced system called the anti-piracy curtain, a setup of multiple hoses that continuously spray water along the ship's sides. This high-speed water barrier makes it nearly impossible for pirates to approach. However, if a large group of pirates attacks at once, it becomes very difficult to stop them, especially since cargo ships usually have such small crews. Some larger ships might have slightly bigger crews for this reason. Another major challenge is keeping the containers secure. To prevent them from falling overboard during rough seas, crews use special locking systems, and when that's not enough, they tie the containers down with chains or thick ropes. After going through all of this, when a cargo ship finally reaches a port, it's completely unloaded within just 24 to 48 hours and then immediately reloaded for the next journey. It's a life that never really stops.